it's another one. Another amazing one, might I add. Yes, indeed, absolutely. Every day, something new happens, and we're here to figure it all out, right? So, yeah, these times right now, it's one of those times where the news cycle looks like somebody spilled Red Bull on the control panel. We've got Trump and Iran, uranium enrichment, James Comey surrendering after an indictment, new White House Correspondents Dinner shooter footage, Island Man names popping back up, Hegseth clashes, political violence warnings, and the media acting like a Roomba in a room full of Legos. Interesting, right? So here's my question. Why now? Who benefits? What are they trying to make us look at? And what are they hoping we miss? So we're not here to panic. We're not here to worship any politician. We're here to think like adults with just enough jokes so we don't all turn into MSNBC furniture. All right, chat. I need you alive tonight. If you see something I miss, drop it. And if you have a smart take, let me know. And if you want it guaranteed read live, hit the super chat and I'll put it on the board. Good morning, Barry. How you doing, buddy? And if you're here all the time, become a member. Members get priority. Members help build this show. And members are the reason we can keep going live every single day of 2026. So hit the like button right now. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on those notifications. And yeah, these stories are moving faster than a politician dodges a direct question. So is this all random or is there a pattern? Let's find out.
Army Special Forces veteran Jim Hansen. Reading the tea leaves, listening to Donald Trump, I hear impatience growing. He's happy with the blockade. He sees that they are destroying Iran from within economically. However, he's not taking military options off the table. And knowing him as well as I do, I would think that probably it's more imminent than not.
I think at some point more things are going to turn into smoldering rubble just to make a point. And I think the advantage he has is our blockade is so much more painful to them than it is to us or to our allies. And I understand, I just drove cross country and bought diesel at about $6 a gallon. It hurts everybody in America to pay for that gas. But that's a short-term thing. Iran is in the situation where they're about at the tipping point where their currency is worthless. They can't pay the thugs in their military.
That's right.
And they have no idea who's going to take over, when the next guy kicks the bucket. So President Trump has all the cards. He's patient. He'll play it, so that it ends up the way we want it to end.
All right, it's short term, yes. It's still not the $5.03 a gallon that we had under Biden. It's about $1 less than that. It certainly is short-term pain. Nobody wants to pay more for gas. Diesel is even more expensive, as you point out. However, in exchange for not giving our children and grandchildren nuclear weapons, again, in the short term, I think I'd take that deal every day of the week.
And President Trump knew he would take a political hit for doing what no other president had the guts to do. They all kicked the can down the road, and he said, I will not be the one who allows Iran, a country that is run by a, apocalyptic.
Gregory Steven jumping in on the chat saying it's $5 a gallon now for oil. My goodness. Mr. Good Citizen, how you doing, buddy? Short term doesn't matter. It's not a war that we were supposed to be in.
Death cult to have a nuclear weapon. He took the hit. He's going to see it through. And again, this blockade for us allows us to stop any ability they have to fund their government and to feed their people at some point. So we don't want the people of Iran to suffer, but at some point they're going to get restless again and they don't have food for their families, that's going to be a major push to potentially topple this government.
Look, if I had a wish list.
Captain Blackbird says, reminds me of the Dark Ages when knights plundered farms on the order of the king. Who cares if you won't have enough for the next winter? This kingdom requires your wealth.
It would start this way. I would want to take out as many IRGC leaders as possible, number one. Number two, I would like to get arms in the hands of the Iranian people. It's easier said than done, but it's possible, is it not?
How you doing, Tara?
Oh, it's 100% possible. That's a fine knife edge you have to walk on to do that. Do it too early and it falls apart and people get killed for no reason. What President Trump has been doing is creating the conditions for the people of Iran to change their own government. It should never be a U.S. regime change, but 70% of the people there hate that government. So I think the conditions are very close to where they need to be, and the mullahs either have to make a deal now and accept the fact that they're never going to be a nuclear power, or they're never going to be a power of any kind. That's the alternative.
They've been decimated. Can you explain the lack of logic that they have? Is it that they cling to their radical Islamic fascism so much that they actually believe what they say?
They follow a strain of Islam called Twelver Shia, which believes they need an Armageddon-like event to bring the return of the 12th Imam, who then will take over and rule the world with them. So that's a pretty strong motivator, and it leads them to do irrational things like they're doing right now. They are long past the point where they have any way to win this, but they can go dead end because in their minds, all of that could lead to the one thing that brings them paradise. And I think that's something that President Trump took into the calculation when he decided they are not a regime that we can trust with nuclear power and certainly not nuclear weapons.
Well, I'm the president at any moment, and he told me this personally, that he could wipe out their infrastructure. Probably would take less than 5 minutes. However, there would be such long-term consequences.
And we got a chat just for Captain Blackbird. If you type :goat:, you got the chat goat involved. Oh, that one actually looks a little different. That's a different coat. And then we got another one. We got a MAGA one for y'all. Type :MAGA:. Yeah. And we also got a roast one for y'all. It's a microphone roast. Oh, there you go. Captain Black found it. Yeah, that's the goat. That's the correct goat right there. Yeah, buddy. Chat goat.
Consequences for the 90+ million people in Iran. I don't think that's his first option. If it was, he would have done it already.
Yeah, and I think he's doing that, although I don't think some sort of display of pain, and it'll be calculated to hurt the regime as much as possible and shield the people to the extent he can, is imminent.
Let's see, what else do we have? We have Trump, we have GOAT, we have LOL. I don't know if the LOL one's going to work. It might be... Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got the new LOL one in there, too. Yeah, so those are the ones if you want to use them anytime in the live stream. And by the way, we're going live every day at 2026, so make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member. It helps our channel. I love you. Throw in a super chat if you want.
But the main pain is coming from the fact that they can't sell their oil, they have no way to pay their troops, and if they don't get a way to get that oil out, they're going to have to stop pumping it, which will destroy their oil fields and oil wells for an indefinite period of time.
So when they say that indefinite period of time, that's kind of weird. Does anyone have any data on that? Because it's definitely damaging them, right? Definitely. But how much and for how long? That's something I'm curious about. If anyone has any idea, let me know.
They're in deep, trouble, and President Trump holds the ability to either stop that if they make a deal or continue it until they crack.
Yeah, my patience is running thin with these people, and if they want more pain, they're going to get more pain. If that's what it takes, that's what will happen. Jim Hansen, thank you. Be sure to like.
There you go. There you go. And it just so happens that the veterans tend to know so much more than the average civilian. And we have the man who attempted the extinguishment of our POTUS, our dear Trump, to remain in jail until trial.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News report. The man accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump will stay in jail while awaiting trial. The ruling coming from a judge in D.C. today. Cole Allen is facing 3 federal charges in connection with the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last week. Paychecks will once again be flowing at the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump signing a funding bill into law today after the House voted to end a record 76-day shutdown. The bill funds a bulk of the agency, but not ICE or CBP. Funds for employees were expected to run out later this evening. Tomorrow marks 60 days of war in Iran, forcing President Trump to either end the operation or have Congress officially declare war. A ceasefire does remain in effect, and so does the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. The uncertainty in the strait still hitting the gas pumps. Gas prices jumped 7 cents overnight. A Louisiana sheriff is facing 30 charges related to a huge New Orleans jailbreak last year. Susan Hudson is not accused of helping the 10 inmates directly, but her charges do include obstruction of justice. All of the escapees were eventually recaptured following a months-long manhunt. And King Charles and Queen Camilla are wrapping up their state visit by bidding farewell to President Trump and First Lady Melania.
This is just absolutely incredible. You got the red carpet, a white tile with the stars on it. Very cool shot. Very cool shot. Double entryway probably for this staircase over here. Oh, may the Lord bless King Charles and his family, and Donald Trump and his family.
Melania Trump, their trip showing the bond between the U.S. and Britain.
We got Gregory Stevens saying dragging this out is not good for Americans. What do you think the ideal solution is?
250
Mr. Good Citizen says it should have never happened. Absolutely.
years after U.S. independence.
Oil.
In Washington, I'm Bill Malou.
It's always about oil, you know. Allegedly. Erika Kirk, we saw part of it last night, but let's see some more.
Seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world. Our country has become unrecognizable. These people have perverted the truth to the point that they motivated the murder of my husband. They have continuously tried to assassinate the president, and anyone who stands in their way is...
Captain Blackbird says, I heard the king dissed Trump in a speech. No way, did he? Oh, we gotta check that out, man.
Is labeled hateful, racist, fascist, and every other trigger word that is grossly...
Waffle, don't worry about it. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. But just let me know if that guy, what was it, Eric Klein? If he gets too wild, we can just put him on a timeout for a little bit. But yeah, thank you for being, you know, being decent there, I guess. A good way to put it. But that's one of the things that we would try to do here in the chat is, you know, challenge ideas, don't really challenge people, and absolutely do not threaten anyone here. This is a peaceful channel. We're trying to develop the best community here, so make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, going live every day of 2026, and become a member. Darwin a super chat.
Dishonest. We want the best for our country. They don't. This is why Charlie started Turning Point USA in the first place. He didn't trust the radicalized liberal teachers.
I'm just curious, how does she know Charlie?
And this past Saturday, it was a school teacher, of all people, a school teacher, that attempted to change our history for the worst with bullets. And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me. And I wanted to meet some of them face to face, quite frankly. Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me? So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was saying, she was very gracious.
We got Joe H. Murphy saying, why does our government send money to other governments while we close down our branches of government for lack of money? Very good point. Very good point. Yeah. Shouldn't we take care of America first, people?
She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder." And
oh my gosh, do we need to make an Erika Kirk emoji? Which emoji do we take out? Laugh out loud? Yeah, we gotta put an Erika Kirk emoji in there. What do you think, chat? I'll run a poll.
myself. And I said to her, "You know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents Dinner.
I gotta find a good frame.
I find it
oh, we need the wild eye.
so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because
there we go. Let's use this one. Whatever. We got the Erika Kirk emoji coming up, y'all. She lied.
Everyone is all dressed up, and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech. And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you. To which she replied, literally, she said, "I know.
Never mind. I don't need to do an Erika Kirk emoji. Kurt Ellis, you found the Erika Kirk emoji."
Isn't it special, right? Isn't tonight so special? And following that conversation, it was time to take our seats, and we went into the big ballroom where the dinner was. And one of the first things I noticed when I walked into that room was quite literally the proximity of the opposing outlets to one another. So you have one table here that's Politico.
That's a good idea, Captain Blackbird. You should definitely do it, buddy. Definitely do it.
And another table here that's Fox, and another table here that's WAPO, and you're all crammed together, elbow to elbow. And to make the night even more of a spectacle, every single 10-person table had 10 bottles of wine. And the president of the White House Correspondents Association, she did a great job of trying to make the evening have that feeling of Americana. You know, we were in a room celebrating freedom of speech despite our differences. And the U.S. Marine Band performed the national anthem so beautifully. And then shortly thereafter, gunshots rang out and total chaos ensued. And you guys have all seen what happened next because there are 1,000 videos of it. So let's discuss that fact for a second. If you were in that room, you had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was, how many there were, or honestly, really anything. It was just utter chaos. And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips. They were so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot.
Yeah, that's true. You know, some of these people are just going after those clips, just getting those clips. Can you blame them? I don't know. Of course you can. It's better to stay safe. But we got a request from Captain Blackbird, who is a member of the channel. And members get priority in this channel. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member if you want. And yeah, throw in a super chat if you want. So here is King Charles. He's got 12 jokes as he pokes fun at Trump and shares Churchill's naked White House story.
150 years ago, or as we say in the United Kingdom, just the other day. Indeed, you recently commented, Mr. President, that if it were not for the United States, European countries would be speaking German. Dare I say that if it wasn't for us, you'd be speaking French.
Oui, speaking French.
Our destinies as nations have been interlinked. As Oscar Wilde.
We got Crypto Moonbase jumping in on the chat saying, I guess she was upset that there was no IDF soldiers available to extinguish the journalists that were filming the active hot metal slinger.
Said, we have really everything in common with America nowadays, except, of course, language. And if I may say so, it is a particular pleasure to be back in this wonderful building, the heart of your democracy. On this occasion, I cannot help noticing the readjustments to the East Wing, Mr. President, following your visit to Windsor Castle last year. And I'm sorry to say that we British, of course, made our own small attempt at real estate redevelopment of the White House in 1814. It is, in fact, my 20th visit to the United States and my first as King and head of the Commonwealth. This is a city which symbolizes a period in our shared history, or what Charles Dickens might have called a tale of two Georges. The first president, George Washington, and my 5 times great-grandfather, King George III. King George, as you know, never set foot in America, and please rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, I am not here as part of some cunning rearguard action. It is not hard to see how important the relationship remains in matters both seen and unseen. My mother's first Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, understood this so well. But then he himself was half American, a tradition of shared transatlantic heritage, which I am pleased to say is alive and well in the White House today. Indeed, such was the closeness that Sir Winston, while staying here in the White House, in those rooms you showed us upstairs, emerged naked from the bathtub to discover the door opening as President Roosevelt came in for a chat. With rapier wit, the president cast aside any embarrassment by declaring that the Prime Minister has nothing to conceal from the President of the United States. Of course, my late mother met no fewer than 13 serving presidents, thankfully all of them fully clothed. Now, as you may know, when I address...
Yeah, this guy's got a very cool accent, man. Awesome guy. King Charles.
My own parliament at Westminster, we still follow an age-old tradition and take a member of parliament hostage, holding him or her at Buckingham Palace until I am safely returned. These days, we look after our guests rather well, to the point that they often do not want to leave. So tonight, Mr. President, I am delighted to present to you, as a personal gift, the original bell which hung on the conning tower of your valiant namesake. May it stand as a testimony to our nation's shared history and shining future. And should you ever need to get hold of us, well, just give us a ring.
If you need to get a hold of us or just give us a ring, that's cool, man. That's cool. Very sweet, very sweet. Oh yeah, don't forget about the MAGA hat. We got the MAGA hat. What's the Democrat slogan? We need that one as well, right? Just to be average or balanced, well balanced.
20 businesses were raided by the FBI and HSI today because of fraud that took place. They had 22 search warrants for primarily Somali-ran businesses because it just so happens to be that a lot of businesses in Minnesota that were fraudulent were ran by Somalians. And now we're going to talk about these locations that were raided, but I do think it is super important that we talk about somebody who's trying to claim credit for the fraud being exposed, and that is Tim Walz. Tim Walz actually said at the height of this fraud that no evidence of fraud was taking place in Minnesota. However, today Tim Walz is saying something completely different, trying to take credit for the fraud being exposed. And this is
How you doing, Cali Chica?
what Tim Walz had to say on X today. He said, if you commit fraud in Minnesota, you are going to get caught. And that's exactly what we saw today. We catch criminals when state and federal agencies share information, joint investigations work, and securing justice depends on it. He then said, today's raids by state and federal law enforcement happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. That is a complete...
Maybe they just hired Nick Shirley without Nick Shirley even knowing it, right? Yeah, that would be good if those Somalians took a look at their own community and start cleaning things up. Absolutely.
Complete lie. Then he says, that's how the system is supposed to work, and our agencies will keep at it as long as there are fraudsters around to put behind bars. Well, Tim actually might have to get put behind bars because he enabled all this fraud to take place underneath his leadership in Minnesota.
And click right here to see what happens next.
I have a brief update on the
Yeah. Why not give Nick Shirley some credit? He's definitely the one that like instigated and started all that. It's that's just ridiculous that Mr. Walz isn't giving him any credit. Come on, Mr. Walz, what are you doing with your life, buddy? Updates with the high-speed rail? Let's look at it.
California high-speed rail and some transparency questions that have come up. I'm actually outside of the California High-Speed Rail Authority board meeting where they were set to vote on a problematic business plan for this upcoming year. I will link the story about the issues surrounding that plan in my bio, but basically lawmakers say it lacks transparency and key information that is required under state law. Because this plan lacks key information around cost, schedule, and other details that are required, it's not in compliance with what the state expects.
Yeah, it took her about 45 minutes to an hour and a half to do her makeup for sure. She looks like high maintenance. Not as high maintenance as that high-speed train. Man, how many other countries could get that thing done within a few months? This is wild what's happening over here.
Anyway, the main thing that I wanted to update you on is that the High-Speed Rail Authority CEO, Ian Chowdhury, has said he wants to be transparent about this project. We've been asking for an interview with Mr. Chowdhury for 9 months, specifically for him to come on California Politics 360, and then we asked again.
And got Cali Chica jumping in on the chat saying everything is about control the population, deceiving the nation.
This week, just with the issues surrounding this plan and a hearing that happened earlier this week at the state capitol. So we showed up to this hearing to hopefully hear from the CEO to finally talk with him and do an interview, but that didn't happen. Mr. Chowdhury agreed to do the interview about the business plan, but said he would not do the interview if I were to ask questions about personnel and personal matters that came up in February. He essentially wanted to limit the questions that I could ask. We could not agree to those terms. Mr. Chowdhury.
No one's going to hold her back from talking. She needs to be heard. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's a little weird to moderate the questions, right? A little weird. Yeah, who is this stunning woman? Let me tell you who this is. This is, give me the details. I don't know who this is, man. I have no idea. Let's see if I can find her. Does anyone in the chat know who she is? There we go. Nope. Looks like a lawyer. Ronald Davis says, you know that women are playing simple different. They literally go out the subjects that they know can get them extinguished some type of way they would deflect the danger in. Sounds like you're talking about someone. Who are you talking about? Gregory Stevens says, what color is that Donald Trump? Let's see what color Trump is. You can type them in yourself. Just type : Trump : I don't know. All right, let's see who this woman is.
Makes more than $500,000 a year on the California taxpayer dime. Journalists who are working to inform taxpayers about their use of funds should be able to ask questions of officials who are put on administrative leave for their potential actions. Chowdhury has been back to work for months. And the main purpose of this interview, again, was not about those issues, but about the draft plan. We hope to have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Chowdhury at some point.
Some point. All right, did you give me an answer yet? Who is this woman? Find it for me, please. But there's probably so much corruption going on with that they're like, yeah, you can only ask me a few questions. Otherwise, I might get myself in trouble, right? Anyone know when the high-speed rail in California is going to be done? Captain Black says, I bet she and Trump go to the same tanning salon. For sure. For sure. It would be fun to go to a tanning salon.
I decided to add.
All right, so David Blaine went to Island Man's house in New York and filmed some magic tricks with none other than Woody Allen. And Woody Allen has quite a background himself.
Add fish to the equation.
Brad Koch, happy to have you here, buddy. Thank you. We like you too. Speaking of, make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every single day of 2026 and become a member so you can get one of those cool little things like Captain Blackbird has next to his name, one of those little badges. And yeah, throw in a super chat if you want.
That was magician David Blaine in 2013 in a segment in what appears to have been in the ABC special David Blaine, Real or Magic. But what we discovered is that Blaine filmed that segment inside of Jeffrey Epstein's New York City townhouse. CNN compared the footage to photos from the Epstein.
Ooh. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this is closed here. This is open here. I guess there's a window behind. Yeah, same back walls. Oh, very interesting.
Files, including of this tub and the kitchen. We also found emails from 2013 about this shoot, including Epstein telling Woody Allen's wife that Blaine wanted to do the goldfish trick tonight for Woody and film it, and Epstein's assistant reminding Epstein that Blaine wanted to stop by Epstein's house to finish his Woody Allen shoot. It's all part of correspondence between Epstein and Blaine that CNN found in the Epstein files, primarily between 2012 and 2016, years after Epstein was convicted in Florida in 2008 for soliciting prostitution from.
Is that a good poll? Should we make that? We got to make that poll, right? Is Island Man still alive?
From a minor. Blaine has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing related to Epstein, and representatives for Blaine and ABC did not respond to CNN's request for comment. Epstein frequently invited Blaine to social gatherings with big names in Hollywood and tech, like Woody Allen and Bill Gates.
Hold your hand up.
He also seemed eager to connect Blaine with political figures. Any interest in visiting White House? Epstein texted Blaine in 2015. And at times, Epstein showed interest in getting together with Blaine and girls. In 2013, he wanted to find a fun place to go with Blaine, some others, and girls. And in 2015, Epstein emailed the magician, "You missed some amazing girls last night." The age of the girls Epstein was referring to is not clear. By 2017, Blaine was facing a serious allegation of his own. A former model accused Blaine of raping her in 2004, prompting an investigation by British.
Tara Matthews jumping in on the chat saying Blaine is hiding him for his next magic trick. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and Gregory Stevens says, seriously, Trump is wealthy. He could have several people doing his makeup. Looks like he just smears it on himself.
British authorities. Blaine denied those allegations, and that probe was eventually dropped. After those allegations came to light, Epstein reached out to his friend with a message of support, writing, "I'm there if you need anything."
What do people
Yeah, the person's there if he needs anything. All right. Yeah, David Blaine and Woody Allen. Goodness gracious, man. What a mix. And then Island Man? All three of them together? Cali Chica says 5-second video Epstein jail not to be seen. Vanished. You never know. Never know. Was there ever an Island Man jail scene?
Think of you in Israel.
That were traitors or that were crazy.
I can't have conversation with people who think that the West Bank should be Israel.
All right, so these people are like pro-Palestine Israeli activists who try to stop the settlers, which is so wild. So wild.
Today, Yarden and Mihal are heading to a village in the West Bank to act as human shields against settlers.
It's right here. That's the checkpoint, yeah. That's it. You're in the West Bank right now.
Yarden and Mihal are relieving other activists who've been on the lookout for settlers. Yarden.
Thomas Schooley says they were there for one thing. Yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I hope you're wrong, buddy. I hope you're wrong, but that's sad. Todd Pampers jumping in on the chat saying, Blaine looks like he rides a bicycle with no seat. We didn't see this coming. Guys, he makes things disappear. Yeah. Tara and Todd are talking similar things right there. Captain Black saying, everyone is compromised. This is starting to feel like the horror movie, The Thing. Nah, don't be afraid, man. That's what media wants you to be afraid. You don't need to be afraid, man. The Lord is in control. Don't worry about a thing.
Friends just told us that they've got word that the settlers are coming down the hill with a flock of sheep. So you know these guys?
How you doing, TT? We got some new emojis in the chat. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. And yeah, we got some really cool emojis.
Child is the settler, and the orange guy is the security officer, is the sheriff in town. Basically, we need to just barrier between them and the Palestinians, and take pictures and videos.
As the settler and security guard leave, local children emerge. But minutes later, the settler returns and the kids disappear. Hello.
So wild. Kids are like, I'm not here.
Do you speak English? Why are you filming us? Hello. Why do you bring the sheep down? It's not exactly tense, there's no weapons, no one's speaking even. It's just this standoff of one side documenting another side.
Yeah, this is so wild, man. He's a poor little kid, but it seems like he's almost disassociated with like everything. You know, he's like, he doesn't even see them as like people or whatever. Oh, who brought out the cat, man? What's going on with this, man? What are you guys doing? Thank you, Cali Chica. Captain Blackbird says, such cowards, the only reason they behave like this is because they know the IOF will always side with them. Cold 2959. I think he just wants to take land. He's one of those settlers, allegedly. I don't know.
What do we know about this young boy? How old is he?
I think he's around 15. He comes here very often.
Flashy, 56, 67. Throwing in those emojis. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026.
Everybody knows him.
Why do you think he comes here?
He's told to come here by the owner of the sheep. He's been used. He's like a slave. They tell him what to do and he does it. He's a young boy.
We must remember that 13 Americans have been killed.
Yeah, it's a little sad that that kid's just a little boy, man. He's riding this little
What do
donkey.
people think?
That's his mode of transport. He's got some boots on. Just a tough situation over there, man. Just a tough situation. That donkey has more brains than the kid. Captain Blackbird. Tara says his eyes are just lifeless. There's no glitter, no gleam. Yeah. Settlers equals T-word. Kurt saying young kids with hate in their eyes is the world's biggest tragedy. All programming, all bad programming. Absolutely, absolutely.
We must remember.
Hegseth, your blindness, your hate for President Trump blinds you. Okay.
That 13 Americans have been killed in action, hundreds wounded, and thousands of civilians killed, including more than 100 school children. The risk of this conflict was foreseeable. I'm certain that the Department of Defense knew that it was likely that in a war with Iran would create an international economic crisis by blocking the Strait of Hormuz and thus stopping 20% of the world's oil. Was this existential threat considered? Apparently not. During the 60 days of Trump's Iran war, critical munitions have been expended at an alarming rate, depleting magazine levels below what is thought necessary to hold China at bay. It will take years and tens of billions of dollars to restock. You and the President are ever-changing reasons for the war. You have misled the public about the progress of the war. While the military has executed this war with tactical success, the strategy has been an outstanding example of incompetence. This war of choice is a political and economic disaster at every level. Despite the President's promise to lower the cost of living, gas prices are up 40% and inflation is soaring so
Who is this guy? Democrat, Republican?
much for lowering the cost of living. The President has got himself and America stuck in the quagmire of another war in the Middle East. He's desperately trying to extricate himself from his own mistakes.
I hope you appreciate how reckless it is. When I said reckless, feckless, and defeatist of congressional Democrats at the beginning, that came after watching you say the same thing on CNN this morning, a quagmire. My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions and
All right, Captain Blackbird. Have a good day at work, buddy.
utopian nation building that led us to nothing. What we have...
In God we trust says, how do you create so many refugees? Answer. Oh, buddy.
Right now, the way you stain the troops when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a...
Mr. Norcross? That's not in front of him, though, is it?
Quagmire 2 months
Quagmire.
in. The effort, what they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that could create strategic opportunities, the
Cranky Mullet says, my hatred for this administration is unmatched.
courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies.
Joe Mama says, answer, have one religion create two other religions that dislike each other. My goodness. Joe Mama. Can you expand on that?
Shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes. And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission. Your hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission and the historic stakes that the president is addressing, which...
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And also, who's he getting paid by to say these things? Like, whenever you challenge, President Trump, and even if you don't like the administration. But whenever you challenge him, there's like an uprising. But also, if you don't challenge him, does he have just freedom to roam and do whatever? But also, he's the guy that we elected, and he said no wars, lower gas prices. It's happening. And also, I don't know if you guys like UFC. Do you guys like UFC? Strickland is gonna fight Hazmat. Is that his name? Yeah. And Strickland always has like the wildest press conferences. So let's see what happens on this one. This is gonna be entertaining.
Which the American people support.
I know, with that the Chechen Chimaev. Hey, we need to talk about this. One more thing before we get out of here. We need to talk about Mr. Chimaev. All right, let's talk about this guy. I keep hearing Chimaev this, Chimaev this, Chimaev that, but what does the history and facts say about Chimaev? And you guys are media, you should know this. Chimaev fled Chechnya with his family because, an oppressive warlord dictator that killed people indiscriminately. No hate on him. It's your country. He goes back to Chechnya. He goes back to Chechnya because somebody wants to buy him a G-Wagon. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be that whore. I'll do it. I'll bend the knee for you, man. I like G-Wagons. And then what happens? The leash gets way too tight. And you know what? I think the U.S. government kind of looks at him like a terrorist now. Why? Because people get all the time in Chechnya and they completely violate human rights. So now Chimaev's scared as shit. Like, oh man, dude, I wanted to be a whore, but I didn't want to go full tip. Now he flees to somewhere in the sand pit, and now he's hiding out in the sand pit.
Sean Strickland, your old friend, has been tweeting about you since the fight. He said that when you were in the gym together, he would actually out-wrestle you and be better than you in the wrestling over 4 rounds.
Bro, Dricus take him down many times, but how can he take me down, bro? Come on. This guy, I beat him everywhere and striking, but this guy just talk too much.
And now, what does he do? Chimaev, what does he do? He has a Bitcoin scam, and he scams all his fans. And let me tell you guys something. I had the same Bitcoin scam offered to me. It was like 200,000, and I was saying, fuck you, dude. I'm not going to scam my fans. I don't need money that bad.
Good man.
But that's what Chimaev did. So, yeah, Chimaev, you can fight. You can fight. You got a beard. But let history record it as you, sir, are a whore. You fled a country, you went back and you got buddy with a dictator and you fled again. Doesn't matter how good of a fighter you are and will always be a f***ing whore. That's a good one, right? Clip that, send, post.
He's a funny guy. He's working with, what is his name? Buratino or what is it?
Yeah, Paulo Costa.
Yeah, Paulo. I make them together.
And to answer your question about the little Chechen too, let's set the record straight. This man fled his country. He went to Sweden. He had a great life. Australia welcomes a lot of immigrants, and I respect you.
How you doing, Damaging? Good to see you, buddy.
But the immigrants in Australia assimilate and become Australian, and goddamn, I respect you all for that. But this man goes back to Chechnya, off a dictator, him off, lets his son beat him up, and the leash got too tight. Too many G-Wagons. He was collected on. And when it came down to go a little deeper and a little more, this little ran to somewhere in the Middle East. And then he goes and sells a Bitcoin scam. Chimaev can fight, but sir, you are not a man. The world knows you as not a man. You will never be a man, you little Chechen.
Okay, he's getting a little aggressive.
Магомед Анкалаев в интервью мне рассказывал, что Шона Стрикленда.
This is allegedly the 4th most brutal press conference thus far. It's getting pretty active, but it's not too gnarly. Yeah, man. Sean Strickland definitely creates a show, man. He's just so entertaining. It's like you just want to see what he's gonna say next, because you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea.
Тяжело удержать на земле. Ты же работал с Шоном в Америке. Так ли это?
Magomed Ankalaev told me in an interview that Sean Strickland is really hard to keep on the ground after a takedown. You worked with Strickland before. Do you agree with that? The assessment that it's really hard to keep him down?
Не знаю. Я удержал его, я душил его, бил его. Он хороший боец, средний, знаешь, не знаю, ну, духовитый парень. Камбой какой-то, знаешь, как из фильма. Так, если технически сравнивать нас, я на другом уровне. И в борьбе, и в грэпплинге, и в стойке. Так, сам он боец, реальный боец. Не будет там сидеть, просто ждать. Будет вперед, как я. Хочу подраться с любым. Хочу с Шоном Стрикленом подраться. Хотя мы тренировались, у нас нет таких.
Sule says, as long as he doesn't shove alcohol in his face or tease his mom.
Тренировались, парики делали. Вроде нормальный чувак. Ну, деньги заработают, с ним любым подерусь.
You know, I mean, I've taken him down, I've held him down, I've choked him, I've punched him. I mean, I've done all those things, so I don't see anything, you know, something special about him. Basically, he's a fighter's fighter. He's a good fighter. You know, if you look at him, he's like an American cowboy, like from the movies. That's the kind of guy he is. But you know, we've done our work in the gym together, and if they offer him to me, if I can fight him for the belt, that's what I'll do. You know, I make the money, get the belt. I have nothing against him. I think that if you compare us on the skill levels wise, I'm levels above him. I'm in a whole different stratosphere from him. So, you know, he's not a threat to me. But you know, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. And if I can, I'd fight anybody. I'm ready to fight anyone. So if there's a belt there, I'll fight him, no problem. Even Strickland.
Do you think that the winner of this fight should jump Imavov for a title opportunity?
I don't know, dude. I mean, here's the thing, dude. Do I think that, like, you want to see two terrorist Muslims fight each other, right? Like, what? No one gives. I mean, again, more than likely, Chimaev's gonna take down Imavov and just dry hump him for, and nobody gives a fuck about two foreigners fighting.
And what do you think of Sean Strickland? I know you guys have trained together in the past. Do you think that's a good matchup for you?
Well, match is good for me, man. He makes money.
Yeah, life's weird, man. So when you're talking about Chimaev going to the White House, you know, he's best friends with like a warlord dictator that murders people. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this administration puts a terrorist on the White House card. I guess the perfect person to fight him would be me, right? The last real American in the UFC.
The fight people always thought was going to happen was you and Israel Adesanya for the title, but now Sean Strickland's the champion. What did you think of Strickland's win over Adesanya?
Actually, I was thinking about if Easy not knock him out, he gonna win, but it's happened. He couldn't knock him out first round. I was thinking if the guy just pressure him, Easy gonna get tired. Because all these guys, Easy fought, they play easy game. So Easy good on his game, you know, and just doing technique. Don't need to care about just like Sean Strickland went in, like me, you know. And straight in the punch and smash faces, you know. So just need to drive in, and now everyone knows how to win against Easy, you know, how making tired. And when I fought win this fight, and Sean Strickland, maybe somebody else, and after that, Easy will come as well. If he's young, he's still fresh, man. So we're gonna fight White Knight as well.
But we'll look back to Chimaev, you know, it's like, it's kind of hard, dude, because let's just say he does fight Imanov or whatever. Every fight, this guy gets hurt. Mysterious injuries. I break my hand, my ovaries hurt. Like, I did this, I did that. Like, dude, you've never produced an x-ray, you've never produced an MRI, like, but every fight, dude, you got to take a year off because you're injured. Like, are you that big of a bitch So I don't know, man. I think it'll just be curious to see his trajectory and actually how many times he fights, you know. But like when you're him, do you have to fight? When you're off Cordero and you're getting gifted G-Wagons and like, I mean, how much money do you think that guy gets from the Chechen warlord, right? He probably gets a ton. So it's like, for him, it's not necessarily about fighting. It's about having a belt for as long as possible. And I think that's why you have a guy who just sits on it and gets injured. Yeah.
Is that what's maybe very exciting about this fight? Dana White said the winner will be getting a title shot against Sean Strickland. And if you become the champion, you know that you're going to be fighting because there's always going to be a contender.
Actually, I don't think about this fight now. Right now, I just focus on Usman. But they promised me, like I said before, Gilbert Burns, if you win with this guy against this guy, I'm gonna fight for the title.
Yeah, some of those backyard fights get wild. They're pretty good.
And since then, 2 years ago, I fight again as well.
We got Medhat Mustafa saying, why the Islamophobic remarks shows a person's ignorance and weakness. Preach peace, Sean. Being an MMA fighter does not mean what you have to be a hateful person. Yeah, there you go. What about keeping it like directly attached to skill and talent rather than doing that type of stuff? Cali Chica, go on and get your tea, girl. Yeah. But also, I think he's trying to sell a show. Like, I don't think that these two people dislike each other, honestly. Probably friends.
But didn't get the title, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm not after that get just title. I go after all heads in the UFC, So, yeah, smash somebody, make money, be happy, man. If I finish everyone, stop everyone, it has to give them all belts, So, yeah.
You have obviously made the case for the Khamzat fight. I feel like it's probably one of the biggest fights in the division.
Waffle Jackson watches those backyard fights.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody who wants to see two little go at it. You want to see a real fucking American fight this little Chechen whore in American soil. This is the fight that needs to happen.
Do you think you can do what you did tonight to both Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland, no matter who it is?
I don't know, but I can't say anything right now, so I'm not especially sit here and I'm gonna do this, that, but I'm gonna do my best job I can do. So it can be same way, maybe harder way, don't know.
Yeah, I hate to spoil it for you. I don't think you're going to get on the White House card.
I mean, dude, who knows, dude? I mean, no, dude. Maybe I got to go hang up on Epstein or some shit. I guarantee, dude. That Jemai would go to a fucking island. That motherfucker's going all day long. That dirty little.
Who do you think is the most deserving person to fight for that belt first?
I guess Sean thinks that the Island Man is still alive, dude. That's hilarious, dude. That is hilarious, bro. Sean Strickland does not mess around.
What? Who do you think is the most deserving
But somebody asked what the lineup is at UFC. So we got Topuria versus Gaethje. One interesting thing is if one of them gets injured, I think Sarukian is going to get in and fill in. But he says that Topuria barely hits he only hits bags whenever he's training for a fight, so he doesn't get injured. And then he says Gaethje is just too old to get injured for a fight. And then we have Cyril Gane on the right side versus Alex Pereira on the left side. Alex Pereira has to go up a few pounds to fight against this man, Cyril Gane, who poked Ben Askren in the eye a bunch of times, which was horrible. We got Kurt saying my money is on Ilya and Alex. Yeah, that'd be cool. Even though this is the American, this is the Georgian from Spain, I guess. I think he's Spanish, right? Yeah, but these two guys are cool. Great fighting styles and seem like really cool people. And we got the two eye pokers on the right. I lost respect for Gaethje, honestly, after seeing the highlight video of how many eye pokes he does. And Cyril Gane, lost a lot of respect for him too with the eye pokes, dude. Come on. That's not even competition, man. Yeah. Captain Blackbird says, I'm very into boxing sports. All this personal, let me dig in your life to gossip about it is very unusual for the sport. But hey, it's a free world. There you go. There you go. Cali Chica loves boxing too.
Contender to challenge you for that belt first?
I don't care about these things, bro. I just, where they gives the money, I fight anyone.
See, did you see Khamzat Chimaev was on a podcast earlier this week? The Jackson
And then we got Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. Don't know much about Zahabi. We got Derek Lewis right here. Derek Lewis is hilarious versus Josh Hokit. We got Chandler, ranked number 13 versus number 10, Mauricio Rufy. We got Bo Nickel, American, versus Kyle Daukaus. We got Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez is number 2. All right, great. Man, that was a fight between him and Volk. There you go. You can watch it on Paramount Plus. A little shout out to UFC.
podcast, and he was asked about this legendary sparring session you guys had. He said he tapped you out. That's why you hate him.
Bro, I made him quit training. Witnesses in the audience. Where's Erika? I made him quit. No, dude. We're doing
that's what I heard too. I thought he took care of Strickland. That's the reason I was worried for Strickland. But if Strickland made him quit, there you go.
Positional grappling. And he positional grappling. All right, start on my back. And I was like, first round, I let him choke me because it's like no one gives a Let me tell you about this little bitch. I'll tell you. When I walk into a gym, do you think that I go find the little weakest man? I say, let's spar. I say, no, I go find the biggest, baddest motherfucker. I'm like, hey, I want to spar you. Every time Chimaev would walk in the gym, he would pick the smallest, lowest level pro and say, but he looks like my opponent. You're beating the out of it. And this is a true story. You guys could back me up, my team. He would pick the smallest guy. Chimaev's a fucking bully. Yeah. And if you notice what he does in the division, he just runs and fucking hides. Oh, now I want to go to 205 and fight fucking Yuri, who's not even the champ, dude. You just run and fucking hide. You did it when you train with us, and you're doing the division.
And Sean been there, Sean been in a lot of wars, and I don't think so he wanted so much Dricus.
Do you feel like, we hear about these terms of like bully fighters? Do you feel like if he's in there with someone who can give...
Bro, I mean, look at when he fought my boy, little Brazilian guy. What's his name? Gilbert Burns, dude. Good family, man. Gilbert Burns, dude. Gilbert Burns pulled his card, dude. Gilbert Burns like 5'8" and almost fucked him up. Did a goddamn good job. Gilbert Burns is a savage, but it's like, you're just a bully, dude. Just a bully. You got Chimaev, the fucking goat. Like, who's really entertaining in this division? Nobody. So.
Yeah, that's Strickland for you, man. That's Strickland. What do you guys think? What do you guys think out there? Who's gonna take it? Strickland, Chimaev. Also, all right. So we got 2 for Pereira and Topuria. If anyone else thinks between these 4 who's going to take it, or even actually Sean O'Malley, ranked number 2 versus number 6. If you guys have any guesses on those guys. Oh, okay. Tara doesn't know much, but user TT says, I still miss the days of Roberto Duran. All right. So there's a Max Pro that's surviving 3 Russian FPVs. DJ Terrorist says Strickland has a confidence. For sure he does. OG American going for Strickland. Awesome. Yeah, Strickland's great, man. So there's one of them happened here about 1 second in. I think it comes in on the left side. Or was it on the bottom? Now it looked like it was straight on. Yeah, it was straight on from the road. So that was one of them. I think this net around this truck or whatever is what's saving it. All right, damage. See you in a little bit. We got user TT saying boxing is fake like football now. Yeah, did you see that video where the guy was like, when the guy fell down for money? Yeah, it's wild, dude. It seems like almost all sports, almost all are like set up in some way. I have a buddy of mine who said he thinks the World Cup is set up. And then I have another buddy who played in the U.S. men's national team, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, I got a friend who was like, you know what? It's all set up. All these games are set up." And he's like, maybe, maybe in the club side, like Real Madrid versus Barcelona or the English Premier League, but when it comes to like the World Cup, they're not getting paid, and their pride is on the line. So yeah, they're not getting paid, but they might be getting paid to throw the game, you know. So I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I'm always curious about those things. Like, always wondering what's actually happening there. So there's some thefts, some break-ins going on in Woodland Hills, unfortunately. Bastards. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh.
Another break-in in the San Fernando Valley.
Several mass burglars got into a home while people were still inside. KTLA5's Jillian Smuckler live from Woodland Hills with more. Jillian, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, people living in this neighborhood are waking.
User TT saying the biggest fake I've seen was Atlanta. Probably Atlanta Falcons losing to the Patriots, being up 28-3 at halftime. Yeah, I don't doubt it. People will do a lot of things for money, unfortunately.
Waking up to news of yet another frightening home burglary.
Oh, by the way, make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026.
And this, of course, just one of a string of burglaries happening all across the San Fernando Valley. And what's especially concerning with this home behind me is that there appears to be a lot of security measures in place to prevent something like this from happening. I'm going to step out of your way so you can get a better clue of what exactly I'm talking about right here. But this home, very well lit, surrounded by a large gate. There's multiple visible security cameras out front and even a beware of dog warning sign posted outside. But despite all of that, mass burglars still targeted this house overnight while people were reportedly inside. Now take a look at this video from overnight showing a large police response right outside a home on the 22,000 block of Calvert Street. Now, according to people at the scene, the parents were away at the time but saw the suspects on home surveillance cameras and immediately contacted a family friend who then called police while heading out to the house. LAPD officers from the Topanga division rushed over, but the burglars fled before officers arrived. You can see patrol cars line the street last night, and there was air support overhead as officers searched the neighborhood.
What do you think? Would this happen if homeowners had those hot heat throwers around, you know? Yeah. Kurt says, how dumb people gotta be. Unreal. Just unreal. So if they had these hot metal throwers, would this be happening? The GUNs? I don't know. I doubt it for some reason.
Still waiting this morning for more information from LAPD, including what, if anything, was taken from the home, as well as how exactly those suspects were able to.
That's great. Tennessee is approved for doing that, throwing the hot heat if someone trespasses. Yeah. That's a good deterrent. I'm not going to do it too often if
get inside of it. But for neighbors here, this is adding to growing concerns about burglary crews targeting multiple homes across the valley in recent weeks. We've reported on dozens of them, especially near Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, Woodland Hills, Encino, and Tarzana. In some cases, people have been home, but in other cases, they haven't. But police say many of these crews are getting in and out of homes before their officers arrive. Now,
hot metal that leaves a GUN, you know. That's what that is, Tara.
Mayor Karen Bass, you may remember she announced increased patrols earlier this month to try to crack down on these crimes. But burglaries, as we've seen just this morning, they have continued. Now, investigators are using tools like...
What? You see Nick Fuentes push that old lady on his property. She rolled up filming him. He just pushed her. Is this recent? Oh my gosh, dude. Nick
automated
Fuentes is something else, dude.
Plate readers as they work to track down those responsible. And at last check, back out here live, those responsible for this home break-in, they still are on the loose. So if you have any information, you're asked to call the LAPD. And again, you may be wondering, okay, there's so many home security cameras in so many different neighborhoods, including this one. Why are more of these suspects not being...
Are you talking about the incident that happened November 10th, 2024? Oh, it's from one day ago something happened.
Ring doorbell footage has resurfaced.
So this is some Ring doorbell footage. We all love that Ring doorbell footage.
Surfaced from the November 2024 incident involving Nick Fuentes and Marla Rose after she showed up to his house unannounced after he had been doxxed online. As of April, the criminal misdemeanor battery case has since been dropped. Nick Fuentes took a deferred prosecution deal, and Marla dropped criminal charges to pursue a civil suit instead.
Dang.
Nick had been charged with battery after he allegedly pushed and pepper sprayed the 57-year-old woman outside of his home. The doxing occurred after Nick Fuentes made an X post that same November saying, "Your body, my choice, forever."
Your body. Okay. You gotta hear the audio. So wild. All
in
right,
reference
let's
to
get the
abortion
audio.
policies. Social media users were really upset by the post and began to release and spread his personal information online, including photos of his home and his house. Doorbell footage has resurfaced from the November 2024 incident involving Nick Fuentes and Marla Rose after she showed up to his house unannounced after he had been doxxed online. As of April, the criminal misdemeanor battery case has since been dropped. Nick Fuentes took a deferred prosecution.
All right, we got this our friendly Facebook situation. Let's see.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing? Oh, get the fuck out of here! Did you catch that?
Did you catch that?
Did you catch that? Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing? Oh, get the fuck out!
Wait, how does he know she's not like a Amazon delivery person or a UPS woman or... I don't know, man. I just have like this sensitive side of like, I don't think men should hit women, but you never know if she's a criminal or what she's doing, you know, like, I don't know, man. But she was like so happy and so nice at the start here. Like, look, she waves.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you?
She's like, hi. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Private property does not protect you from civil liberties. Oh, she was the one sharing his address online? Shame on her. And pepper sprayed her while... why is she not riding in pain? Yeah. She did get pepper sprayed.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing? Oh, get the fuck out of here!
What did he pick up? Did he pick up her phone or something?
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing? Oh, get the fuck out of here!
He's not too nice to her. Yeah. Yeah, she got pepper sprayed for sure. Mace. I don't know if mace is the same as pepper spray. Oh, good point. Good point. We got Ronald Davis jumping on the chat saying that looks like a 4-room duplex for apartment duplex. Those are mailboxes. So these are the mailboxes over here. Yeah, that could be. That's wild. I got something for you, chat. When do you think Fuentes is gonna wear this hat? Any idea? Is he ever going back to MAGA or not really? Probably not. Alex Cleary, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Were really upset by the post and began to release.
There you go. Your TMZ right there.
Found. Well, I'm told from police, oftentimes they're able to cut off the Wi-Fi. So when you go to search it and see if you...
We got John Doe saying MAGA is over. MAGA is over. Doing great, Alex. Thank you for asking, buddy. Doing great. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026.
You could get a better look at those burglars. Nothing comes up because the Wi-Fi was shut off right before they went in. So that's kind of the reason police are having to do other measures like those license plate readers to try and get ahead of this and make sure they can catch the next one.
They should have like some type of red button for the elderly. Like if they're in trouble, push the red button and emergency response will like get to them ASAP or whatever. Or even better yet, like they push a red button. Could be green. Doesn't have to be MAGA red. It could be whatever color. And all the cameras that are in the house activate live and they record and they send that to the local police department. That would be extremely smart, right?
But for now, reporting live in Woodland Hills, I'm Jillian Smuckler, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Jillian Mills. Any of you veterans have any idea of like what the rule is like for friendly fire? Like if you are across from, you know, an ally, you're not supposed to pull the trigger, right? Yo, how you doing, Billy? Good to see you, buddy. So the reason I bring it up is because there's a video of the alleged shooter confronted at the White House Correspondents Dinner. This is FBI, a field audio video program. All right, so this is the hallway. This dude walking up. It's pretty slow, so I'm going to kind of jump through it, but... All right, so this is 8:59, 4:24. $4:24. 8:59 again. The gym. About 9 o'clock. It's gonna get a workout in or something. Okay. Walks out of the gym. 9:02, 4:24, same day. Okay, that's a worker. He walks back. 9:06. Okay, the next day. So he's kind of planning it all out. Scouting. User TT says scouting. I see. I see. Any lefties in the chat have any emoji recommendations that you guys need, that you want? By the way, make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026. We got those Trump emojis, got the goat emoji. All right, so this is 425. 425, he's got a jacket on, different clothes, so this is the next day. 425 at 8:36. Maybe gotta fix this crop a little bit. So this guy on the bottom left, he's the one that engages with the runner. So the runner comes up from the top left. Oh, I got an answer for Calitax. She says, how many bots are streaming on here? Here's your answer. I wrote something down, so I don't have to keep on answering it. Calitax, my response now is for you. Hopefully you understand it. Okay, so he jumps out of here right after. So there's a dog walking here, like basically watches that dog, runs out. This guy pulls his gun out. He's pointing right at him. Oh, dude, this guy actually pointed his gun at him. All right, so he shot one. This cop shot one towards this police officer. I hope he didn't get hit. And then this guy's running here. And here's another law enforcement officer. Boom. I think this is the guy that got shot. I don't know for sure if he is, but I think this is the guy that got shot. Because you see that color from the hot metal. The guy drops down. Okay, 35%. Alec Matthews. So the guy that got shot was most likely against the wall. Yeah, I saw those guys kind of running away from the back. All right, I'm gonna watch the guy on the wall. But this is weird. This guy's looking directly at that door. Like he would see him. In the middle, this guy. Okay. This is the alleged shooter at the Trump party. So he's running with a big rifle. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay, they're pausing it there. I see. Oh, that guy's like stumbling back there. I don't know if he got shot. Yeah, I don't know. Not really too much there for me to like see, honestly, so I don't know. Chica says that was planned. I don't know if it's being installed or being taken down. It's 8:36 p.m. so maybe they're setting it up, but I think everyone should be in by that time, right? Benjamin saying, I want to know where the gun was waiting for him there or what? Great question. Absolutely great question. Erika Kirk wants to end political violence. Oh, what an angel.
Among those inside that chaotic ballroom on Saturday. Saturday night was Erika Kirk. The CEO of Turning Point USA was seen sobbing as she was rushed out by security.
I just want to go find you.
Keep in mind, this violence on Saturday night came nearly 6 months after Erika's husband, Charlie Kirk, was himself killed by an assassin's bullet. On Monday, Kirk posted that Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence, saying, I'm taking time to spend with my family, and adding, enough is enough. She followed that up with another message on the Charlie Kirk Show today.
While we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country.
You got big audio problems, girl. You got big audio problems.
I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens. This is what got my husband killed. This is what has led to 3.
Is this what you guys are talking about when she's lying?
Legitimate attempts on President Trump's life.
A scheduled visit that Erika Kirk had on the campus of Iowa State University tomorrow with Vice President J.D. Vance has been canceled. TPUSA attributed that to a last-minute scheduling issue.
Jenny Elliott says, wasn't she a who? Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw some videos of her and some other girl, so I don't know if that's real or fake or what the deal is, but
For more, we're joined now by Andrew Colvett, spokesperson for Turning Point USA. Andrew, great to have you back.
She doesn't have a serious problem. I'm just joking. Oh, Charlie's parents are trying to get custody of the children. Bonafide Gail jumping in on the chat, dropping some knowledge. I did not see that, Kurt. Oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure.
So did this cancellation have anything to do with what happened Saturday night? Because I can only imagine how distressing that was for Erika to be in that ballroom and hear that gunfire not 6 months after her husband was killed by an assassin.
Yeah, it didn't have anything to do with that, actually. Unfortunately, this was actually just a scheduling issue with the vice president's team and a scheduled I guess it was a fundraising dinner that he was supposed to be at, or an event that he was supposed to be at, that got postponed to the next Tuesday. We weren't able to work with the school to move our event.
Okay.
So they're unrelated in that, but two things can be true at once here.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a very I guess it was a traumatic is the word that Erika used. I was in the room that day, Elizabeth. So I remember hiding under the tables myself, wondering.
Cali Chica saying she cried more at the ballroom than she cried for her husband. So.
You know, what just happened? Did they shoot the president? Did they shoot J.D. Vance? And just really having that weight hit home again, that this is the reality of the world that we live in and the country that we live in. And, you know, so Erika is, you know, using this moment, I think, as kind of a reset to kind of refocus and, you know, spend time with her family and just take a pause. And I think that's great. But I will tell you, you saw her remarks this.
All right, let's see if this is actually real or fake. All right, so there's no audio. Let's see if there is audio. I don't know. It might look fake. Yeah, that's AI. Oh, animated with AI. Okay, well, it's animated with AI doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So they could have animated it with AI, but from a picture. Okay. Not yet confirmed. Trying to give you guys some accuracy over here while I can.
This morning, she's very, very focused on what led up to Charlie's assassination, the underlying environment that made it possible. And, you know, you see stories like the SPLC that came out last week. This is an organization that has...
All right. This one looks a little bit more real. The next father of her children. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, is that who she left with here? There you go. You never know. That guy's got a beard. This guy's got a beard. No, this guy's from a different ethnic background, I think. Who made this, dude? Oh my gosh. Oh man. Got Gavin Newsom in there. Oh my god, dude. OJ says it happens. It happens.
Fundraised hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars off of labeling people it has basic ideological agreements with as hate and hateful.
Yeah, they labeled Turning Point USA as a group to keep an eye on, and obviously Moms for Liberty, other groups that are conservative that were labeled with a, you know, by the SPLC as racist or hate group.
Austin Powers TV saying, see the video of her getting possessed. No. Do you have one of those?
Oops. But I do want to come back to what Erika was saying when she said enough is enough. And she made the point that political violence, which we do seem to see an uptick in, it feels like it's spreading in this country, and it has to be. It is clearly related to the heightened rhetoric, not just from elected leaders, but especially from what you see online. It has become, sometimes when you go online, a cesspool of what people are saying and how hateful people can be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you look at Hassan Piker just did the interview, a podcast with the New York Times. This is a guy in the podcast that starts talking glowingly about social murder, quoting Engels from the 1800s as a rationale for assassinating Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. This is a guy that has called for blood in the streets of capitalists, and now he's being platformed by the New York Times. He's being used in
by the what do you say about capitalists?
For assassinating Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. This is a guy that has called for blood in the streets of capitalists, and now he's being platformed.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good to call for that. You don't want to make it scare people of, losing anything, physical pain for no reason. That's not cool. That's not cool. Bad shame on that man.
By the New York Times, he's being used in campaigns with the Michigan Senate race. So these are not fringe things anymore. They are getting mainstreamed, and there is a whole infrastructure, a permission structure that supports these ideas and the dissemination of these ideas. And that's what was so troubling about Cole Allen at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, is that he was indiscernible, indistinguishable from some of the other voices that we hear on the nightly news, on social media, some of the people with the biggest followings. And so, yeah, enough is enough. If we cannot get unanimity around the fact that political assassinations and political violence is not okay in America, then we are truly in trouble. And so we have to all redouble our efforts and make sure that it is castigated, that it is roundly and swiftly disavowed in every corner. Because if we don't have that, what do we have?
Yeah.
America is lost without that.
That's true. That's true. Make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. And hopefully we can find peace in some way. That would be great if the news inspired peace and unity and a way to find a route to a productive life.
Anything to lower the temperature and to remember, because it can be so easy when you start seeing all in this heightened rhetoric that we are all American, that we are all human, and vilifying people you don't agree with never ends well. It's not good for them. It's not good for you. You don't feel good.
That's right.
When you do that. Andrew Colvett, thanks so much for joining us. As always, great to talk to you.
Thank you.
There you go. You got Chris Cuomo there. All right, so U.S. and Iran war. We got Iran's uranium enrichment journey explained. Allegedly.
Now, shifting our focus to the conflict in West Asia, U.S. President Donald Trump is scrambling for a deal with Iran. Countless ultimatums, aerial bombardment, and naval blockade. Nothing seems to have deterred Iran.
What a great shot. Great outfit. Great colors. Love the yellow, the orange, and the red. Very cool frame. Very, very cool frame.
From its nuclear enrichment program. Now, Tehran continues to maintain that its nuclear enrichment program is non-negotiable. Iran and US have been at odds with each other over nuclear enrichment program for more than 2 decades.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie Kirk was an angel on earth, man. Absolutely.
Diplomatic negotiations across multiple administrations continued. Even breakthroughs were reached, but Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium has now reached its peak.
I didn't hear her say groveling. I didn't.
Tehran now has 9,040 kilograms of uranium stockpile. Let's go down memory lane to understand how it reached this point. Well, Iran began enriching uranium to industrial grade in the year 2006. 5 years later, it started enriching uranium to 20%. 20% is a critical milestone, as enrichment gets easier once it hits the 20% mark. Now, after years of negotiations, Iran and US, along with 6 other nations, signed Iran nuclear deal in 2015. This is when Iran reduced its nuclear stockpile to 299 kgs. But a year later, Donald Trump took
I don't know if it's her who said it, but that was funny, whoever said that.
over the presidency in 2016. He withdrew from Iran nuclear deal in 2018, prompting Iran to restart its nuclear enrichment program. Under the Biden administration, Iran rapidly expanded its nuclear enrichment program and took it to 60%.
We got Waffle Jackson jumping in the chat saying, I think we need more news on the likely rumor that the Tomahawk that hit the Iranian girls' school likely came from Afghanistan due to the multi-billion dollar blunder. Could be. Do you have any data on that?
%, which is the closest it has ever been to attaining a nuclear weapon. Cut to 2026, Iran is estimated to have 9,040 kilograms of enriched uranium, the peak of its uranium stockpile, but much of this is believed to have been buried underneath the rubble created by US strikes during June 2025. Now let's understand how close Iran is to enriching uranium to weapons grade. Majority of Iran's uranium stockpile is enriched at lower levels. Around 184 kgs of Iran's uranium is at the 20% enrichment level. According to estimates, Iran has 440 kilograms of uranium enriched.
All right, so whenever they develop enriched uranium to 90%, that's when it becomes dangerous, allegedly. Is that what we're understanding here?
At the 60% level. And this is lower than 90% enrichment, which is needed for nuclear weapon. According to IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi, the 60% enriched material is enough to theoretically produce material sufficient for over 10 nuclear weapons, if further refined to 90%. Iran has limited cooperation with the IAEA after the US carried out strikes on its nuclear sites in 2025. Exchange of proposals are taking place between Iran and the United States as we speak. Trump pulled out of Iran nuclear deal to secure a better deal, but so far Iran's uranium program only seems to have strengthened.
Yeah.
Well, earlier we spoke to retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel L. Davis. He's a military expert and host of Daniel Davis Deep Dive on YouTube. And here's what he had to say. Listen in.
I dismiss that entirely. That's just President Trump is routinely doing that kind of thing. Now he had another AI-generated image of himself earlier this morning to where he was playing Tony Stark in an Iron Man movie and changed up to be Iran. So I just don't pay any attention to that whatsoever. The only thing we pay attention to is what he actually does on the ground there. And I think that he is getting a lot of information from his military commanders not to take this opportunity for strike because they too recognize that it will have a backfire effect from Iran and it will not accomplish the objective on the ground because it's just the country of Iran is too big and their issues and their military capacities are buried under mountainsides and you're not going to be able to penetrate those. We've tried and we haven't succeeded. And another round is not going to change any of that, but it could cause more damage to our allies and to our economy because that will push back the possibility of getting the Strait opened up. It won't.
We got Elsewhere Village jumping on the chat saying, at this point, Donnie is just trying to troll.
Help. So I hope they don't do it.
Gosh, speaking of Donnie, Trump signs order to expand access to retirement savings accounts. All right.
When it comes below 35,000, but we think that there are a lot of people even who make more than that don't have any assets for retirement, and so we're working with Congress to significantly expand this program. And we're looking forward for legislation this year to expand this.
And also the Trump accounts, you remember, with Michael Dell and Susan and the group are setting records.
We have
the numbers.
5 million signups right now, sir.
5 million signups in a short period of time, far above what we thought even possible. So congratulations to everybody that got that started. Michael Dell put in $6.25 billion. That's a lot. He put in a lot of money, and he's going to do more too. But they were very responsible. So I just want to let you know it's like record. You are even surprised by that number, I think, right? I don't know if we can do that kind, but it's really way beyond what anyone thought. It's great. And we're going to be doing the same thing, I guess, in a certain way for older people. We're going with a plan that if it works, has to get approved by Congress, but we think it'll get approved. It'll be fantastic for the country. Let's go. Will, do you want to start? Sure. There's some other things, and we thought we'd let these great people from Congress and beyond, or below, I guess I could say.
So first, sir, this is the IRA executive order that you just mentioned. This establishes the retirement accounts with the federal match for eligible people, as you said in your speech and as Kevin explained. This is a big step forward. It's going to provide access to high-quality retirement accounts to a lot of Americans who don't currently have access to such accounts.
Okay. There it is. That's nice. Great. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll do some that aren't associated with this, and then we'll talk about this with the press. We'll ask some questions of the Congress people. Okay.
We got Fox saying MAGA. Trump is strong. God bless USA. God bless Trump. Thank you for the support. Happy to have you here, buddy.
Because they were really responsible for this. All right? Yes. Who would like to hold it? Popular guy. Okay, let's go.
This is a presidential permit authorizing the Bridger pipeline, sir. This is a transborder pipeline similar to the old Keystone XL pipeline. It'll significantly expand our ability to move oil around North America, oil and gas around North America. It's a huge deal in terms of long-term energy dominance and energy security.
Slightly different than the last administration.
Very different than the last
They wouldn't sign a pipeline deal, and we have pipelines going up. And by the way, they're way underground. They're not a problem. Nobody even knows they're there. It's so crazy. But
So that seems like part of the reason the Strait of Hormuz is getting jammed is to maybe enhance this pipeline situation. What do you guys think? Is that a possibility or not really? We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. If you want to help the channel, become a member, throw in a super chat.
they wouldn't approve anything having to do with the pipeline, and they're great. As opposed to trucking it or training it, they're great. A lot of jobs there, a lot of jobs. Okay, very good. Next.
This is an executive order on federal contracting, sir. Many federal contracts currently operate on a cost-plus basis. This provides oftentimes weird incentives for contractors, leads to cost overruns, costs the federal government a lot of money. What this executive order does is it establishes a fixed price contract as the default in most federal contracts. This aligns the federal government with what would typically exist in the private sector, and we believe will continue to drive down fraud and abuse in federal contracting government-wide.
Would anybody like to object to this?
No, absolutely not.
You're fighting for this one too. Okay, thank you. Next.
You previously announced that we were withdrawing Casey Means as the Surgeon General, sir, and appointing Dr. Safir, or nominating Dr. Safir in her place.
Yeah.
That on the left is the withdrawal, which will later be transmitted to the Senate.
Okay.
And on the right is the new nomination form for our new Surgeon General.
Nicole Sapphire, she's with Fox, was with Fox. Is it with Fox anymore, Peter? But she's great. She'll be the Surgeon General.
I believe she's with Memorial Sloan Kettering in New Jersey, sir, and she's an outstanding doctor.
She is.
Who has better handwriting, Trump or Biden?
I just don't know how Biden used the auto pen. There's so many things to say. He'd say, here, please take this. It's crazy. All 4 years was crazy. Okay. Let's not bring it up. She's going to be great. Surgeon General. Thank you.
This is a proclamation declaring this weekend to be National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend. Awesome. As you know, firefighters do an incredibly difficult, dangerous job, help keep us all safe. This is a proclamation honoring their sacrifice and remembering those who have fallen.
Great. Everybody likes that? Okay. Firefighters.
That one deserves one.
Yeah, the heroes.
Last lastly, sir, this is another proclamation.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the chat. Wait, what happened?
The First Lady have made foster.
City, what did you say? Oh, William the Hunger God says he is a disgrace. Send me the chat again. I didn't see it, buddy. Sorry.
Adopt with care major priorities. This is a proclamation declaring National Foster Care Month, honoring those who have participated in foster programs, who have helped raise foster children, and speaking about the many things that your administration, including the First Lady's office, have done on that set of issues.
Yeah, it's been a big thing for the First Lady, so this is in honor of our First Lady.
Well said.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That is good. Thank you very much.
Oh, City says Trump is a draft dodger. He's never fought. Yeah. Zidane says why Trump is not fighting the front line. Good questions. Good questions. You never know. You never know. Maybe he had something wrong with his heel or something.
Thank you, Mr. President. So do you have any questions? Maybe we discuss the first signing first. Do you have anything on that?
Mr. President,
Please.
how is this going to help the small business owners? Do you think this is going to inspire more people to go into small businesses that might be reluctant earlier, for IRA, to have their IRA? This is going to help give them.
Well, I tell you, small businesses now are thriving. And as you know, more people are working right now than at any time in the history of our country. We're doing great. And there's more investment being made in the United States than any country at any time in history. And a lot of that's AI, and a lot of that's...
We got Claire LFC saying Trump for UK, bring your ice. There you go. We're going live every day of 2026. So like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member. It helps the channel grow. Throw in some super chats if you want. We got Super Oranges saying la la la.
Maybe in a certain way, maybe more importantly, auto plants are all coming back to our country. They're coming back from different countries where they left us, for Germany, as you know, Japan, South Korea, and Canada, Mexico. And they're all coming back at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And tariffs did it. I did it. Maybe the election did it, but tariffs did it. And if they build here, they don't have to pay tariffs. We have Germany is giving a lot of companies are coming in from Germany, from Japan. Japan just announced $10 billion more plants going to be built between Toyota and Honda and all the different companies they're pouring into our country. In South Korea, Canada, they're coming in.
We got Mind That Bird jumping on the chat saying, do something to improve America instead of B-word all the time, you bunch of LIB-tards. There you go.
And I don't know what they're doing, but I can tell you they're coming in tremendously from Canada. There's no reason they don't want to pay the tariff. And because of that, they're investing at levels never seen before. We will... for 30 years, we virtually didn't build an auto plant in this country. Now we're doing more than we've ever done. So I'm very proud of that. AI is going wild. We're doing great. And we're letting them build their own electric, but we're actually making them build their own electric plant so they take tremendous amounts of energy to have a successful plant. And they're building, all of the new ones are building their own electric plant, like a utility. And any extra, they'll either give it or sell it for a good price to local communities and to the grid. So it's going to be fantastic. But we have tremendous amounts of factories being built in our country now, more than we've ever had at any time ever before. And we have the biggest investment being made in our country. In the history of our country, by the way, in the history of any country, there's never been a country that has the kind of investment coming in that we have right now. And these things are being...
We got Devil Doll jumping on the chat saying, if Barron has a foot issue for enlistment, he could certainly work a desk overseas like my father did for Vietnam. There you go. There you go. That's right, man. You never know. Thank you for jumping in on the chat, buddy.
Being built right now, so you're not going to see the results. I mean, you see construction results. You notice the construction workers are through the roof, but when they open, the numbers are going to be staggering. Do you have a question?
I certainly do. Thank you, Mr. President. You had some good economic news, GDP, 2% growth. New orders for business equipment surged to the highest level in 6 years. And IRS data shows that the average federal tax return is up by more than 11% when you compare it to the same time as last year. Do you believe that this is evidence?
Over 100%.
Do you believe that this is evidence that the big, beautiful tax cuts that you signed into law last year are working? And do you think the economy is going to continue to hum as the year progresses?
Yeah, thank you. So the biggest tax cut in history.
We got Mrs. Fit 4637 jumping in on the chat saying, "Libs are delusional. Go take your meds. He is your president." There you go. Got some strong opinions on certain people. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We are going live every day of 2026 and become a member. It helps the channel survive. Throw in a super chat if you want.
History is in the great, big, beautiful bill. And I think, I see it. I actually see it reported where people are shocked at how much money they're making. They can't believe the refunds that they're making. 5,000, 6,000, 7, 8, 9. I saw one last night on television, 11,000 more than she thought she was going to get. And it's no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our seniors, no tax on social. Nobody can believe it even. And the numbers are far greater than they thought. People that thought they were going to make an extra $500, turns out they're making an extra $5,000.
Joshua Campbell says, "Are you going to cover the impeachment hearings?" What do you think we should do, chat? Should we do that? Give me some data on that. Let me know.
So it's been really great, yeah. And that's going to carry forward. Look, the country's doing really well. And that's despite a military operation. I don't call it a war. Would you rather have a military operation? Where really, Iran is dying to make a deal. I can only tell you that. I don't want to get into it, but they cannot be nuclear other than that. But their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone.
So allegedly, there's a potential 2026 impeachment hearings. There's nothing set in stone as of yet, unless you guys know of something that I don't know. The push for impeachment is linked by some, such as Representative Al Green, to allegations of a threat to the republic. Others view it as a potential midterm election issue, according to opinions. Yeah, if you got more info, let me know.
Gone. Every ounce of any form of equipment practically is gone. Their drone factories are about 82% down, and their missile factories are almost 90% down. And many of their missiles have been knocked out. They used some, but we knocked out more than they used. And it's pretty amazing what's happened. They want to make a deal. But despite the fact that we are in what some people would call a war, we just hit a new high today on the stock market. We have S&P is through the roof. They're through the roof.
We got 2A Freedom 60 jumping in on the chat saying, "Why is it that the left can only use name calling and threats and stupid jokes instead of facts? Are they actually thinking these stupid thoughts?"
And when we hit.
Thank you for the chat. We're going live every day at 2026. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member.
50,000 on the Dow and 7,000 on the S&P. I said to myself, we got to do something about Iran. They want to have a nuclear weapon. You can't let them have a nuclear weapon. And I hated to do it to my people because they said 50,000. Peter, you know this, that 50,000 wouldn't be obtainable in my 4 years or anybody's 4 years. And we hit 50,000 in my first year, the end of my first year. We hit 7,000 on the S&P. They said that would be even less attainable.
We got Solar Martin T jumping in on the chat saying there ain't going to be no impeachment hearings. What's going to happen is after the Republicans stomp the Democrats into the ground, it's going to go down as the beginning of the end of the Democratic, as long as they can keep the Democrats from cheating like they've done for decades, and the only reason they even exist. This is going to be the most lopsided election.
And we hit that at the end of the first year, before the year was up. And then I said to Kevin, sorry about this, Kevin, but we have to put out a fire. And the fire is taking place in the lovely country of Iran. And they want to have a nuclear weapon. And if we didn't...
Claire saying at Waffle, all these libtards have zero idea what Trump is doing for the people. I only wish we had a man in number 10, 2029. We will with Mr. Lowe. There you go. Good luck. Wishing the best for you in the UK.
Didn't use this beautiful, see that plane right there? That beautiful B-2 bomber. It looks small there, but it's actually quite it doesn't look very powerful there, but it's quite large, actually. We ordered 25 more of them, the updated version, all built in America, which is very nice, right? But if we didn't have that B-2 bomber, if we didn't go in and do what we did, we obliterated that nuclear capacity of theirs, and so they didn't get the nuclear bomb. If we didn't do that attack, should have been done long before I came along by other presidents or by another country or something, but it should have been done long before I came along. But they are in very bad shape, and they've got nothing going, including leadership. I mean, their leaders are gone. Now they have a whole new, their first string leaders are gone, their second string leaders are gone. Now we're dealing with their third string. But we'll see what.
Darren Sweerts jumping in on the chat saying they cannot cheat anymore. They cannot gerrymander anything anymore. There you go.
Happens. It's been an amazing period of time between Venezuela and where we're doing great. We're getting along with them great. We're working very closely with them. They're doing more oil now than they've done in many, many decades, actually. And they're making more money, and so are we. It's like a joint venture, to be honest. And we've paid for the attack many times over. The attack, something you've never heard before, probably. I always used to say to the victor, belong with the spoils. But we've paid for the attack, which is...
I was wondering, should I say anything about that or not? Captain Black jumping on the chat saying, bro said, please stop with the Island Man files. So... 2A Freedom says, please stop with the Island Man files. If they were so important, why didn't Biden release any of them? I'll wait. I guess we're all gonna wait. We're just all gonna wait right now.
It's always expensive, but it was a less than 1 day attack. It was actually a 40.
We're going live every day at 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
45-minute attack, and that's a good, they have a good military in Venezuela, but they did not expect that and that and that and that. Other than that. But when these suckers come at you at 2,500 miles an hour, at 25 feet off the ground, you say, this is not what I bargained for. This is no good. Anyway, and now, Venezuela was amazing, but now we're doing, essentially, it's larger. But,
sorry, Alex.
We're doing essentially the same thing in Iran. Can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And
PGF says, what has the American people benefited so far from the Iran war? Great question. Please let me know. Great question. Great question. We got Solar Mantant. President Trump will go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. That's not feelings or emotions. That's going to be based on what he has accomplished. Absolutely optimistic thinking. Very great thinking right there.
And their economy is crashing. The blockade is incredible. The power of the blockade is incredible. They're not getting any money from oil. And
dude's got a point. The cap. Where was all this when people were asking for public inquiries into Island Man in 2009 to 2016, says Waffle Jackson.
Hopefully it can be worked out very soon. Yeah.
Iran is proving to be very stubborn. The talks seem like they are stalled. Are you getting antsy to break the ceasefire?
Well, I mean, I don't know what stubborn is, because really nobody knows what the talks are except myself and a couple of other people. they want to make a deal badly. We have a problem because no.
Kurt LSU dropping some knowledge in the chat saying Trump's kids turned out normal. Meanwhile, Hunter had something and something. I'm just saying that apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Nobody knows for sure who the leaders are. It's a little bit of a problem, you know. The leaders have been wiped out along with their military, almost all of their military. I mean, think of it. 159 ships was their total Navy. 159 ships are gone. They're underwater. They're way below sea level. Sea level is a big difference. Pretty deep waters over there, too. So, I don't know that we need it. We might need it.
And on Iran, a little while ago, the president of FIFA said that when the World Cup is here in the U.S., the team from Iran will be playing in the games.
Well, if Johnny said it, I'm okay. Are you did Johnny say it?
He did. What if they
Johnny
win?
Infantino, that's a piece of work.
What if they win?
Well, if they win, we'll have to worry about that. That's not. I'm going to have to worry about that one. That would.
It's a soccer team.
You know
Who
what?
cares
Let
about
him
that,
play
right?
well. Johnny's fantastic. He's a friend of mine, and he talked about it. I said, "You do whatever you want. You can have them. You don't have to have them. Probably have a good team. I mean, do they have a good team? Do you have any idea?"
I have no idea.
Would be hard to believe, actually. But I think let them play.
Baba Ganoush O'Reilly says Trump is a gold-plated CU.
Different, but what is your take on these reports that your show, The Apprentice, is going to could come back on Amazon with host Donald Trump Jr.?
Well, I've been hearing it. Look, we had a great success, 14 seasons, and The Apprentice was a tremendous success. So I've been hearing that, a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Darren Sweart saying, especially considering most of the people that were in the Island Demand files were Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries. Did not know that. Oh, all right.
Happens. He's good. He's a good guy. He's probably good. He's got a little charisma going. You need a little charisma for that soccer song. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, they told me about it. We'll see.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. There's been some talks about changes to your security after what took place.
Changing my security.
Changing your security after what took place.
Well, they did a pretty good job, actually. They stopped the NFL running back. He was like a running back. In fact, if he ever got out, they're probably going to sign him. He was a speedy guy, but he was stopped. They had many levels in front of him before he would even come to us. You could be a baseball team and win 19-0, and somebody could say, you should have won 21. You should have. Captain
Blackbird7 jumping in on the chat saying, the truth shall set you free.
Gotten 25 runs, the team was no good or something. So I don't know. I can only say that I know a lot of those people, the Secret Service, and they were good and they were forceful. And I saw the guys in front of me. They were powerful-looking guys. I said we could send them to Hollywood. They could make movies. I think that there's always room for improvement, right? And he got into the building. The problem is that I know that's what I do. I build buildings like that. Much nicer, actually, but I build buildings like that. And when you have 1,000 rooms sitting on top of a ballroom, and you have the elevators coming down right near the entrance, it's a pretty tough situation. Now, right outside, we have something that's on time, on budget, actually ahead of time, and ahead of budget depending on finishes. Finishes, there's a big difference between marble and onyx.
We got 2A Freedom 60. At least we are free, and the illegal aliens are at Alligator Alcatraz, where they belong. And I've never been harassed by one person in 30 years. I'm a 63-year-old woman. I've lived in 8 states. And I hope you don't ever get harassed. That's great.
In price. But it's right on budget, right on time. And that's built to the highest standards of security. No units on top, no hotel built on top where an elevator comes right down through the middle of it.
Solar Mantent says, you people on the left need to realize that the truth and facts do not care about your feelings or your emotions. Unfortunately, that's true.
It's a tough location. That's a tough location. So I think, I know the people at Secret Service, I think they're great. And I think the Congress has to take care of those people. You know, we're talking about ICE, we're talking about Border Patrol, Secret Service, everyone. The Democrats essentially want to defund the police.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of them do. And we got Kurt LSU jumping down in the chat saying, whatever you think about Trump, this man's work ethic is unmatched. He's about to be 80 next month, y'all. He is a grinder, absolutely.
So, you know, they want to defund law enforcement. It's crazy. These people have gone crazy. I heard Hakeem Jeffries, a low IQ person, he's a very low IQ, screaming today that the Supreme Court is illegitimate. I mean, that's a dangerous statement. Then if I say something modest, they say, oh, he's a king, he's a king. They're sick. But Hakeem Jeffries said the Supreme Court is illegitimate. That's a rough statement. If I made that statement, it would be the biggest story out there. Bad things would happen.
One of the ideas.
Go ahead.
The average. This country.
And you know what?
So this is the Hakeem Jeffries he's talking about. Which somebody else said is in the Island Man files.
Out there. Bad things would happen.
One of the ideas.
Go ahead.
The average price of a gallon of gas is now $4.30 in this country.
And you know what? And we're not going to have a nuclear weapon in the hands of Iran. The gas will go down. As soon as the war's over, it'll drop like a rock. There's so much of it. It's all over the place, sitting all over the oceans of the world. And it'll go down. But what won't happen is if Iran had a nuclear weapon and used it, then the whole world is a different place. You're not going to have to pay a little bit more for gasoline. The gasoline, the oil will go down rapidly as soon as the war is over.
Brian, good to see you again, sir. I've got two questions. First, I want to follow up on Daniel's question. I've described you as the peacemaker. You're achieving peace around the world.
Good man, the peacemaker, right there. We got Solar Mantent saying, if all you ever watch is CNN or any of the other fake news media outlets, you're being extremely brainwashed and deceived. Is that what's happening to some people? What's going on? What's going on? Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, going live every day of 2026. Become a member if you want to help support the channel. And we got Darren saying Hakeem Jeffries is a clown, period.
Due to these latest policies, big beautiful bill, no tax on tips, no tax.
Alex says, how does this clown put one foot in front of the other?
Tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. Now the Trump account, and then the IRA account. Could we describe you as the wealth maker?
Well, I'm helping people out. It's a nice question, actually, but I'm helping people out. These people are with me. You know, these are great people, and feel free to speak up if you'd like, because they wanted this to happen, and we got it done. And they're Republican people, I think, in all cases, right? In all cases. It's crazy. We need, like, always unanimous, because the Democrats, they will vote against anything, no matter how good. If they had their favorite thing in the world, and we happen to want it, but we found a new strategy. We're going to oppose every single thing that we want, and we'll get unanimous votes. So I'm going to come up and oppose everything, Brian, from this point forward, and they'll vote for it. Go ahead.
Second question. You created Space Force on the second end, towards the end of your first administration. Right. You just had the Artemis II crew in here. I know it's a big accomplishment. What do you see moving forward, the duration of your administration in terms of space exploration? I know that was a big moment for you.
Well, doing Space Force I think it's going to go down as one of my more important things. It's turning out. Even a lot of these great military operations that we have right now, when you look at Venezuela, when you look at like the decimation of Iran, which was considered powerful, it was the bully of the Middle East. And a lot of that took place so effectively because of what's coming out of space. When we did Space Force, when I did Space Force, I'm very proud of it. Space was like, we were third. China was first, Russia was second. Now we've leapfrogged. We're way ahead of China, we're way ahead of Russia. And we made some great choices. The first person that headed Space Force, and really after that we had a couple of really great people heading it. Always very important. And a new person is heading it now. I think he has a chance to be as good as anybody, as good as, maybe better, I don't know. But we've had great people heading up Space Force. It's been very important. It's been very important for what we're doing with respect to the different places. And as far as peace, I settled 8 wars. And people try and dispute it, but then they go over them. And almost in every case, they sent letters thanking me and letters to the Nobel Committee. I don't care about that. Maria was very nice. She gave me her Nobel Peace Prize because she said she didn't deserve it. She was very, very nice. But I settled 8 wars. And in every case, the people, the prime ministers or presidents wrote letters thanking me. And in the case of India, look, the biggest one would have been Pakistan, India. The prime minister of...
We got tech support jumping in on the chat saying, what is the point of a tax cut of the price if the price of everyday goods increase?
Pakistan said, I saved from 30 to 50 million lives, but it could have been more than that. 2 nuclear nations were going at it. 11 airplanes were shot down. They were in the first week of what would have been a very bad war, and I got it solved. You know how I got it solved? By the use of tariffs. I said, I'm going to charge you tariffs if you guys keep fighting, and they said, oh, please don't do that.
You just lifted the tariffs, right? On
Kurt says, Trump stopped illegal immigrants from flooding into our country, stopped Iran from making nukes, no tax, no on tips or overtime, made prescriptions affordable. Like that ain't enough for y'all. Very, very great, valid points. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. They get noticed first.
You just lifted some tariffs on whiskey? Is that correct?
Yeah, what I'm doing is for as long as I've been here, they've wanted to, you know, Kentucky, which is a great place, and I also won Jason by a lot, but Kentucky.
Jessica a la France says, accept, like you accept something. He didn't do any of that. Are you sure he didn't do any of that?
With the bourbon, and Scotland with the whiskey, and they've had trade for years and years and years, and a lot of restrictions, a lot of different restrictions took place that didn't amount to much, and it really stopped them.
Pluto Boy 85 says, most Republicans are cool, but MAGA is a cult. There you go. So if Republicans have MAGA, what do the Democrats have? Just curious, just curious. And there is a MAGA emoji for all of y'all.
I don't know if you know, it's a barrel trade. They use the barrels from the one to take care of the other, and the barrels are only good for one unit. In other words, they can't be used twice. They can only be used once, but the once makes it a better substance. I'm not a big fan.
Mark says Satan. Oh my goodness.
Drinker, so forgive me. But it makes it.
Joshua Campbell says, just feed them cake. Solar Man Tint for the rebuttal saying, how is MAGA a cult? Don't just name call. Actually have some facts to back up what you're saying. Valid point. Valid point. Might as well have some facts. Back it up.
Them a big substance and a better taste. But they dealt for years.
Democrats have Gaga from Alex Cleary.
This was Scotland and Kentucky, mostly Kentucky. And I just took all the restrictions off, so Scotland and Kentucky can start dealing again. And I did it in honor of the king and queen who just left.
Pluto Boy 85 says they have their own far left wackos. So it'd probably just be called wackos, I guess.
They're heading back. It was a big deal. They've been trying to get this for a long time.
Yes,
Got it.
You talked about possibly pulling out some troops out of Germany. Would you be considering the same thing for Spain and Italy? I mean, they haven't been exactly on board.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably will. Why should I? You know, look, why shouldn't I?
Oh, here we go. LSU says, government is not made to save you. You got to save yourself. But liberals want a check and everything for free. Go move to a communist country if you want all of that. I'm sure you wouldn't last a day in North Korea. What do you think, libs? What do you think?
Italy has not been of any help to us, and Spain has been horrible, absolutely horrible. You know, it's NATO. It's not even the fact that they're bad. It's one thing if they said nicely, or if they said, okay, we'll help, but the help's a little slow. But the level, and we helped them with Ukraine. You know, they made a mess out of Ukraine, a total mess. And we helped them with Ukraine. Ukraine has nothing to do, you know, we're an ocean apart. It has to do with them. It's like for them, it's their front door. We help them. And Biden gave them $350 billion, which was insane. It's one of the reasons the war went on. But when we needed them, they were not there. We have to remember that. And so if we ever have a big one, because we didn't need any help with Iran. We had Iran right from the first day it was over. It was over. And now it's even more so. We're so locked and loaded if we want to do. But we didn't need the help. And to a certain extent, I asked him, I didn't need the help, but I said, yeah, we'd love to have you.
We got N. Crane, 1230, saying, Boss Man is changing the world back to the way it should be. There you go.
Help,
optimism.
Because I wanted to see if they do it. And they, in all cases, they said, we don't want to get involved. And you know, the amazing thing is they use the Strait of Hormuz. We don't. We don't use it. We don't need it. We have a lot of oil. Well, wait a minute. And they use it, we don't. And you would have thought they would have said, we would love to help you. But they didn't, which I think was a very... And Germany, I mean, he's doing a terrible job. He's got immigration problems. He's got energy problems. He's got problems of all kinds. And he's got a big problem with Ukraine because they're in that mess. And he criticized me for doing the whole thing with Iran.
How you doing, Garmick? Happy to see you.
But I said, would you like to have a nuclear weapon in the hands of Iran? He said, no, I don't. I said, well, then I guess I'm right. He didn't have any answer to that. The bottom line is for this world, for our country, but certainly for Israel, the Middle East, and Europe, much closer, you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you agree that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, which most people agree, almost everybody, it should have been done a long time ago. But if you agree they can't have a nuclear weapon, then what I did has been executed perfectly because our military has decimated them. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, two questions for you. Erika Kirk from the Daily Mail. You have called this the new regime before in Iran, but I speak to Iranians on a daily basis. And they tell me that these are the same people that have murdered them, executed them, repressed them. I talked to them through the blackout, and they wanted me to ask you this question. And second of all, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, how come he's not involved in these conversations?
Oh, he's very much involved. Marco is he's negotiating with them all the time. Now look, Iran killed 42,000 people over the last 2 months, protesters. They were going to kill 8 women whose lives I saved, and I appreciate that they didn't do it. I asked them not to do it. They didn't do it.
Good man.
They were getting ready to hang the women. They were going to hang 8 beautiful women that were, I mean, just caught the imagination of a lot of people. People were talking about it. You know, it was inconceivable. You saw those 8 beautiful people, and they were going to be executed.
Jason Beatrice has jumped into the chat saying, go fix your potty. There you go. Gotta listen to Jason.
That evening, this was a week ago, and I got on the phone very quickly and I said, don't do it, don't do it. The whole world is watching, don't do it. And they didn't do it. I appreciate it.
And another story that's breaking right now, looks like former FBI Director James Comey has...
So happy they didn't do it. They did not do it. Right? James Comey self-surrenders to authorities after federal indictment. What's going to happen over here? Patricia says P3D protectors do. All right. Crystals says love our President Trump.
Has turned himself in to face those federal charges in North Carolina over an Instagram post. Last year, Comey posted this photo of seashells that spelled out 8647, which DOJ alleges was a threat against the 47th president, Donald Trump. Comey later deleted the post and said it wasn't meant to be a threat. The new charges come after a separate indictment in Virginia was thrown out last year when a judge found the prosecutor was.
We got Alex Cleary jumping in on the chat saying, such lies, 8 beautiful women, laugh out loud, WTF. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We are going live every day of 2026. Become a member, throw in a super chat. It helps the channel survive, trying to find the truth and developing the best community on the internet.
Illegally appointed. Joining me now, Washington managing editor Catherine Falders, also our legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer. So, Catherine, what's the latest from the courtroom?
So court has wrapped for the day. We know that Comey, alongside his attorneys and his family was present, did go inside the courthouse to self-surrender. He then had an initial appearance where there wasn't any plea that was entered or anything like that, but he appeared before the judge with his attorneys. Again, his family was in the courtroom, and essentially
live every day, brother, every single day.
Actually, what they went over there, the defense team did preview what sort of motions, Kira, that they're going to file, how they're going to attempt to get the judge down in North Carolina to throw this case out. Comey didn't speak in the court. He addressed the court only to say, yes, Your Honor, presumably referring to the fact that he understood the charges that he was facing. But yes, his attorneys indicated that they do plan to file a number of motions, but specifically a motion accusing the Department of Justice of selectively and vindictively prosecuting Comey. They said in court, his attorneys did, that they wanted to make sure the government preserved any material.
We got Super Orange-ish saying sham indictment. Seashells, what a joke. But you know what 86 means, right? You know what it means. And you know what 47 means. And especially former FBI director, not current FBI director. It's a pretty heavy thing to post on your Instagram. Pretty heavy.
And public statements that could be related to such a motion. So a bit of a preview into their legal strategy there, which of course is what we expected.
Brian, what would your next move be if you were defending Comey here?
I think I do very much the same that's going on here with these defense attorneys, but I might ramp it up just a little bit more. I think there
Real Hillbilly has jumped into the chat. How you doing, buddy?
There needs to be an expedited transfer of what's called the grand jury minutes. So what the stenographer was writing down when the evidence was presented to the...
Elizabeth says, does not mean extinguish. Are you sure it doesn't mean extinguish? What are you talking about?
The grand jury. And from there, I have the ability to attack the evidence or the lack of evidence from a number of standpoints, either from the lack of proving the elements of the crime, attacking the four.
It means 8 miles out, 6 feet deep. Oh, man.
Corners of the indictment. I'm looking down at it now, especially attacking this idea that a reasonable recipient who is familiar with the circumstances would interpret 4 numbers as being a threat. I would also look at just easily Supreme Court decisions like Branham v. Ohio, Watts v. United States, Counterman v. Colorado, that sets out the First Amendment limits as to what a true threat is and show that this is anything from that. And then I would get those grand jury minutes, and if I felt they were insufficient, I'd probably sit down with you, Kira, and have an interview and show that the DOJ is using these statements in a way to criminalize behavior that should not be, because again, under the idea that I'm Comey's attorneys making these arguments, this would be not the first, but the second time that Comey was indicted. And if my arguments are correct, it would be the second time he's indicted on a charge that on its face is clearly not a crime. And I think there needs to be more of an aggressive standpoint of saying we can't keep doing this to someone for vindictive prosecution, which as I said earlier, is another argument that should be made here.
Well, I wish you were defending Comey, because I would take the exclusive interview with you and your client. Brian.
There you go. There you go. She wishes. She just wishes. Oh, and it's from ABC Live. Okay. We got the Google billionaire Sergey Brin compares California wealth tax to Soviet Union socialism. My goodness.
Sergey Brin, the billionaire Google co-founder and former California resident, compared the proposed one-time 5% tax on the wealth of California residents to Soviet-style socialism. He spent $57 million to fight it.
He has joined the chat, everybody. We got Jason Beatrice saying, Democrats, what are your thoughts on Comey?
Because he fears it will lead the state down a similar socialist path as that of the former Soviet Union, which his family fled when he was 6 years old. Brin, who was moved from a backer of liberal causes to a supporter of Republican President Donald Trump, told the New York Times in a rare statement, quote, "I fled socialism with my family in 1979 and know the devastating, oppressive society it created in the Soviet Union. I don't want California to end up in the same place." The proposed tax would apply to California residents with assets worth at least $1.1 billion and has pushed a number of bold-faced billionaires, including Brin, to leave the state. Supporters say the tax is needed to compensate for federal healthcare funding cuts. About 90% of the tax would be used for public health services. However, opponents, including Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom, say driving billionaires out of the state will do more harm than good for California's economy and budget. The union leading the effort on Tuesday said it had collected nearly 1.6 million signatures of support, twice as many as the 875,000 it needs to get the measure on the November ballot, and has submitted them to election officials for verification. Brin has terminated or moved 15 California limited liability companies out of the state, according to the Times, and has snapped up property in Florida and Nevada. Google co-founder Larry Page moved or axed more than 45 California limited liability companies last year, according to the New York Times, and purchased a mansion in Miami. Other California billionaires have also been openly critical of the proposed tax, but have not announced plans to leave. Mercor co-founder Brendan Foody called parts of the proposal, quote, insane, but when asked if he'll move out of the state, said, quote, "I need to stay because all of our employees in the US are in person in SF. Most of our customers are here too." For more on this story, check out the article at the link in the description.
Yeah, but for how long? How long are they going to be there? And I guess we might have one for the Dems. I have no idea. All right, the real reason Trump wants to cover up Island Man? This can't be real.
You know, I want to buy your suit off you after the show. Is that okay?
You want to buy my suit off me after the show? I don't know how quickly you could sell your house, but yeah, maybe.
You can make you my wife for a week if you want.
I can have a go on your wife for a week? Is that supposed to sweeten the deal? Jesus. You're trying to fool me into helping. I can see her. She's a two-man job. Here you go. Is this a genuine inquiry, sir? You're wondering what anal sex and Brussels sprouts have in common? If you what, sorry? If you're forced to do it as a kid, you won't like it when you're older. Something. Who hurt you, sir?
Yeah, this is Jimmy Carr. This is one of the funniest English comics in the world. JIMMYCARR.
Probably sat there thinking, I actually don't mind the anal sex so much. It's the Brussels sprouts I don't like.
So two opposing situations going on over there. Instant Mash says, do Americans like this guy? If you're talking about Jimmy Carr, I think a lot of Americans do thoroughly enjoy this man. He's one of the sharpest comedy writers of all time.
Rather sit on a dick and eat cake or sit on a cake and eat dick?
It's a very good question.
So bad. Where's the Island Man cover up? I'm waiting for that part. This guy, dude. Come on.
Depends what dick, depends what cake. Like if it's a massive fucking cock, like a weapons grade, full porno cock, and like carrot cake with no icing. But if it's like, I don't know, like a red velvet chocolate with the lovely kind of glazed icing they do, and your pencil dick, yeah, I'll take that
So he takes the great thing about it here is he takes like this super weird situation that's hard for like straight men to talk about, and then he just goes there and then it figures a way to have a comeback to make fun of the person that asked that question, which is absolutely hilarious and great comedy writing technique.
Now, there's an English old crippled duck sitting just back from the stage at ground level that's been waiting for years to see you. How about a selfie before she pops her clogs? Where is this old crippled duck? Where's the... Over here, can we turn up the lights? Where's the old... How crippled are we talking? Like fully fucked? What, sorry? What, sorry? You're here? Hello?
It's an actual
How are
person
you?
or a duck?
Sorry, champ, can I get you to jump up there? Hi, security guy. There you go. Hey, man. How are you? Oh, thank you, my lady. I'll go and say hello. It's nice, isn't it? I'll go and say hi. Hello. How are you, man? Oh, Christ, not long now, eh? You should be sitting right up at the front. You should have walked towards the light. Should we get a selfie? We should probably get a selfie. Oh, yeah, he'll do it. Right, okay, cool. And then one with your top off. Very nice to meet you. Thanks very much for coming. Oh, Jesus, don't be throwing sticks at me. How come you got the stick? What you got?
I've got osteoarthritis in both knees, both hips. I've got 2...
All right, so that's not there. I'm going to try to find where it is.
You can't hear an enzyme.
You can't hear an enzyme. Advice for me, thanks. Back up. In and back up. I think the real reason Donald Trump wants to...
Oh, here we go. We found it. This is good. All right, let's see. I hope it's going to be good. I don't know.
Epstein. Well, let's talk. I think the real reason Donald Trump wants to cover up the whole Epstein Island thing is he doesn't want people to know that he wasn't invited. Well, I certainly never saw him there. The thing I find terrifying about Epstein's Island is I definitely would have gone. If someone had phoned me 20 years ago and gone, do you want to go to an island in the Caribbean, there's going to be girls there? Yep. That is exactly how much checking I would have done.
That's true. And you never know, like, how much blackmail there was there. Like, you know, just taking advantage of people that are, you know, just going there to have fun or whatever and see a nice location and then, yeah, that's horrible.
That would have been my due diligence. Yep. Some of the girls look quite young. Great, I'll be there. It's had terrible repercussions. The artist formerly known as Prince, Andrew, he's had to step back from royal duties to spend more time with the kids.
Yeah, so, and like just that joke around, the artist formerly known as Prince, you know, thinking about one guy and then Andrew. And because he was one of the guys that was allegedly on there. Jimmy Carr, he's one of the funniest comedians. I'll add you right now. Yeah, one of the funniest.
Well, it's not fucking good. I mean, I think there's levels, right? There's an inner sanctum of Epstein and a couple of guys that were legit fucking pedos, and then and they deserve everything they fucking get. And then there's a group around them that let it happen, that saw what was going on and turned a blind eye because the guy had money, and they're cunts. And then there's people that sent him a fucking email or went to a dinner, and it's like, oh, I don't fucking know. So it's slightly more nuanced than just, they're all cunts. What, sorry? They are. You're saying everyone's a cunt? Yeah. Everyone that sent him an email is a cunt? No. Some people just sent him a fucking email. How many did you send? How many did I send? Please, can I come to your island? Do I know what a rock spider is? Is it like a spider that's in a band? Go on, what? Slang for a pedophile is a rock spider. Oh, that's interesting, rock spider. Because where I'm from, we would say karate teacher.
Yeah, and Jimmy Carr has some like really good interviews as well with Diary of a CEO with Jimmy Carr. It's a pretty long interview, but he gets pretty in depth, and he gets in depth with like life struggles, his life before comedy. He was an oil executive, very smart man. Grew up, I think, Irish from a poor family, very poor family, and then went to a posh school and just completely changed how he spoke and spoke posh all the time. And people thought he was, oh, he must be successful. He speaks so posh. But he was actually not even English. He was Irish. And in the UK, allegedly, people from Ireland are looked down upon from people in England. Incorrectly so, if I may add. And but it's a very, very great interview with Diary of a CEO with Jimmy Carr.
It's a different culture, I suppose. Jimmy, any advice on how to raise a toddler to have a sense of humor and to be able to deal with anyone they come across? Love, Simone. Where's Simone? Where is Simone? Hi, Simone. All right. How old's your little one? 21 months. 21 months? Oh. Enjoy it. I mean, I've got kids and I'm very pro-natalist. I think you've got tickets to the greatest show on earth, watching them grow up. I would say you've done your bit. 21 months. I'm serious. I think there's nature and there's nurture. And we love to believe as parents, anyone with one kid thinks it's all nurture. Oh, we fed him this and we watched that, so then he's like this. They come out with factory settings. Enjoy getting to know them. Nurture them and let them know that all your job is as a parent is to give them shelter. Emotional, financial, and actual shelter. That's what you're there for. And let them live their life. Get to know them, have fun. You'll be all right. Some kids have got a fucking great sense of humor. Some kids don't. Doesn't matter. You'll love them exactly the fucking same.
True.
They'll
Absolutely
be beautiful.
True.
Good luck. What's right?
All right, chat. So we have the poll conclusions. The poll question was, Does James Comey Instagram post was a direct threat to POTUS, President of the United States? And for the first one, it was 54% yes. And for the second one, it was 65% yes. Based out of 55 votes in total. So yeah, that's the conclusion here. And just to be completely transparent, I did not vote at all because I want everybody in the chat to just kind of see what's going on. So if we take 65% and 54%, what is that? 60% around there, 60.5%.
What's my favourite sandwich? Was probably when I was between your mum and your auntie.
Man, this guy is one of the funniest. Garmick jumping in on the chat saying, it's so important to be able to joke about these sorts of situations. Deep down, they are terrible things that happen, but if you cannot find a way to keep a light heart about it, it will eat you up. Absolutely 100% accurate. Make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026, and become a member if you want to help the channel survive, or throw in a super chat. I love you. The Lord loves you. He is so quick and he's so sharp. Just an amazing joke writer.
Yeah. You keep setting them up, I'll keep knocking them over. All right?
We got Jimmy45481 saying, Jim Comey is a idiot. What else could 8647 mean? There you go.
Hi, Jimmy. Neil K here. Quick question. Would you choose a lower paying job in an industry you love, or prioritize family and a lot more income in an industry you enjoy less? Neil,
Thank
where are you,
you,
Neil?
Alec Matthews.
What? Oh, hi, Neil. Hi, Neil. I've got advice for you, if you're interested. I think life is about two different sets of metrics. And one are measurable metrics, yeah? Resume points. And the other are invisible metrics, and they're eulogy points, okay? Things that people will say about you at your graveside. The metric of money is like, don't make more money and think that's going to make you have a better family life. All it will mean is maybe spending less time with your family. You're making money to provide for your family. They don't want your dime, they want your time.
There you go. Absolutely. Beautiful way to think about it.
It's also, I bet you want your kids and your family to be happy, right? That's the base level. You want them to be happy. Now, your kids will never listen to a fucking word you say. They won't, but they will look at how you are in the world. They'll look at how you are, and you can't fake it. You having a joyful life and you doing something that you enjoy is the best example you could give to your kids of what you want for them in life. Do that, man. Good luck. I wish you every success.
I love it. It's always good to add some type of wholesome knowledge, especially after such wild performances from the highs and lows of Jimmy Carr. And so we definitely proved something, that the headlines are not isolated. Iran affects oil, oil affects prices, prices affect politics, politics affects media, media affects public emotion affects elections, and then everybody acts shocked when the room catches on fire. Hopefully that doesn't ever happen. I'm talking metaphorically, right? And that's the reason we do this live, right? So not because we have all the answers, but because we're training ourselves to see the pattern faster than the crowd, which happens a lot. We'll do a live, and then somehow 24 hours later, we'll see that live on somebody else's channel, which is okay. It's pretty cool. I guess we're inspiring some people, which is always nice. So if you got value, do 3 things before you leave. Hit like so YouTube pushes this to more people. Subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss tomorrow. Become a member. If you want priority chat, deeper breakdowns, and to help build the strongest live community on the internet. And if you want one last comment, read before we close, drop a super chat right now. I'll hit a few before we wrap. And yeah, we're going live every single day of 2026. And tomorrow there will be another spike, another scandal, another wait, what? Moment. And yeah, we'll be ready. We'll be here. We'll be early. Same mission, same energy. Stay sharp. And I will see you on the next one. And also, just so you know, the Lord loves you. I love you. And if people are drinking too much haterade, just spraying that haterade on you, let that hate roll off of your back like water rolls off of a duck's back.